Hi, Anna Scheller here. I am talking to you today, trying to give you a little preview of the webinar that I'm going to be doing next week to kickstart your sales for 2017. Thank you if you're joining me live, and thank you for joining me on the replay. I'm very excited about this webinar. I know that there are a lot of people who struggle in the area of sales and would love to make more sales, but they just don't know how. And so this webinar is going to give you some very key tips on how to do that, especially from the perspective of being a martial artist. So one of the things that people struggle with is they might get through their presentation, feel pretty good about it, but then when it comes time to ask for the money, they clam up, or sometimes they won't even take it that far. They'll say, well, it's been a lovely day. Thank you so much for spending time with me. But I want to talk to you about how easy it can be to ask for the order. You see, in the realm of martial arts, everything we do is about being relaxed and fluid. Bruce Lee says, be like water. In other words, we're fluid. Water does not strive. Water flows. And so the same thing applies to the sales conversation. There's a couple of things to think about in the sales conversation, and we're going to go into a much more depth about it during the webinar. But one of the things to think about is that a lot of times we have our own misconceptions about what it's like to ask for the money. We have a fear that stems from our own prejudice against the stereotype of a used car salesman. There we go. So what I want to suggest, and what we're going to discuss, is how do you deal with that limitation, that limiting belief that stops you from moving forward. Because if something is stopping you, then you're not going to be able to get through your target. You're not going to be able to ask for the order. The second thing is, as I said earlier, everything wants to be fluid, be like water. And so you have to set things up in the first place. And the way you do that is by following a sales process. When you get to asking for the money, it's very natural, if you have set up the process correctly, to ask them for money. It's actually a disservice that when you've been talking to a client, you don't ask them to pay for your services. It's like you're leading them up to the climax of a story and then you just drop off. We don't want to do that. You need to make money. They need to pay for your services so that they take what you're doing for them seriously, whether it's a product or whether it is a service. Either way, there's a way to do it that's natural, simple, not forced, not salesy at all, and you will feel comfortable and your customer will feel comfortable moving forward with the transaction. So I want to urge you, in the comments below or in the comment for this particular video, I want to encourage you to go ahead, click on that link, and register for the webinar. Even if you're not sure you're going to make it at that time, no problem. If you register for the webinar, I'll send the replay within 24 hours. It's been a pleasure to be with you. Thank you for joining with me on the replay. I look forward to speaking with you soon and seeing you on the webinar. Kickstart your sales for 2017.